Hello and welcome to the weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First, a look at the highlight. Dean Students Welfare distributes aids and appliances for physically challenged students. Statistics Day observed. And Dean Colleges organizes book release function. Now the details with your host Omar Malik. The Department of Students' Welfare's Special Cell organized a distribution function of aids and appliances for physically challenged students. Speaking on the occasion, Dean DSW Professor G.N. Khaki applauded the help and role provided by the university for such a humanitarian cause.
Especially to distribute such type of appliances to the students who are basically in need of such type of appliances. This is in fact, I believe, we are organizing events like that of symposium, cultural events, extracurricular activities, interactions within departments and the students, or in collaboration with some prominent institutions in and outside the state. That's one part of the department. But the other part is the microscopic percentage of students. That too are under our mandate and under our concern, with the help of our Honorable Wardi Registrar Sahab. This is the reason that the moment we submitted our proposal to provide the assistance to such type of students, to ensure your life as good as possible, so as to make you one among the equals of the university students.
Professor Khaki said that the university is also in the process of procuring power-driven vehicles for these students.
The direction of our Wardi Registrar Sahab is that to distribute the power-driven cars to the students, and whatever the cost, and I think it may cost more than 20-25 lakh rupees. So in advance that has been, we have been authorized to submit a proposal for that. Inshallah, in near future, we will be having all that and we will distribute among the students.
Dean College Development Council Professor Nilofer Khan advised the Dean Students Welfare to press forward a demand of having some quote reserved for physically challenged students for MPhil and PhD.
I will say it here that in our research programs, in our MPhil and PhD programs, we do not have any special category or special seat for these students. As a administrator, I'm sure that you will advocate for this concern, so that these students also get an opportunity to do their research. Of course, with some special efforts which I did, I could get Sultan, who's working as counselor in this special cell. He's registered as a PhD scholar in the Department of Education. Definitely many of our students over here must be wanting to do research. I think we have to do something for that. Inshallah, I am sure that with the efforts of DSW and with your efforts, I can also advocate it somewhere. We should have some type of special concession for our students. The policy can be, worked out.
Saying that he is for setting a friendly environment for the physically challenged students, Registrar Professor Khurshid Ahmed Butt said that whatever genuine proposal comes up for uplifting specially able students, he would approve that.
Because this is my core responsibility. If I can have a money for my vehicle, the fuel for my vehicle, if I can have a money for hosting a lunch and a dinner in honor of the guests who visit to our conference and seminars, why can't we have a money for those people who require certainly a special attention and a special package? So today only, once a proposal will come to me, I will endorse the proposal, request the Vice Chancellor to approve it, then it is your Dean Students Welfare who has to arrange the procurement of the chairs. It is not only this, I don't know what special facilities this class of students does require. We have a people from the Regional Composite Center because they deal mainly with this class of the people. And I don't know if you require any other kind of an arrangement. Shahid Saab said about this Gandhi Bhavan and the Convocation Center, we don't have the ramps. And once I will go to my office, I will call the executive engineer, and today only we'll pass on the orders and we will tell him to get it done. So any other kind of a special requirement or any kind of a special facility or a kind of a special center that we will have to create here. And we will not waste even a 1 second to approve that.
The Department of Statistics, in collaboration with the Regional Office of the National Sample Survey Office, celebrated Statistics Day. June 29, 2018 marked the 12th Statistics Day of the NSSO. This day is being observed to create awareness among people and draw inspiration from late Professor P.C. Mohanlal about the role of statistics in socio-economic planning and policy formulation. The theme for the 12th Statistics Day was Quality Assurance in Official Statistics. Head Department of Statistics Professor Anwar Hassan, while presenting the welcome address, said that statistics has an important role in making of knowledge society.
This time has proved that statistics is not merely an academic discipline, but an integral proof for the guiding social and economic development. We celebrate Statistics Day today not only to honor the memory of this great man, but also to give recognition to the fact that statistics affects and influence all major decisions we take, big or small, in public life, often in ways we may not even realize. As we progress in our path of development towards becoming a knowledge economy, the role of statistics will become progressively more important. In such a situation, the hallmark of the country's reputation will be the credibility and transparency of its statistical system and statistical data emanating from that system.
Mr. Altaf Hussain Haji, Director, Regional Center NSSO, said that government establishments and households are the three main stakeholders for quality assurance.
All the stakeholders have to play a vital role in improving real quality of the statistics collected or generated any other statistics. Fundamental principle of statistics tells us data for statistical purposes may be drawn from all types of sources, be they statistical surveys or administrative recorders. Statistical agencies ought to choose a source with regard to quality, timelessness, cost, and burden of respondents, which have been applied worldwide since 1994. In our country, the 10 fundamental principles of official statistics, namely relevance, impartiality, equal access, professional standards and ethics, accountability and transparency, prevention of misuse, sources of official statistics, confidentiality, legislation, national coordination, use of international standards, and international cooperation were formally adopted through a decision of Union Cabinet of Government of India on 4th May 2016.
Dean Research Professor Zafar Ahmed Rishi cautioned that statistics has its own pitfalls and scholars should be careful of that.
Statistics has its own pitfalls as well, and then people need to be very aware of those pitfalls. Benjamin Disraeli once said that there are three lies. One lies, then damn lies, and then statistics. I mean, statistics can also fool. It does fool if you do not know that which type of a statistical procedure has to be used where. And more often than not, a student is unable to distinguish between standard deviation and standard error. He thinks he uses mostly interchangeably and does not understand as to what he means by all this. Anyway, now the collection of data, I mean, the Department of Statistics plays a very pivotal role in creating very trained human resource, which could be utilized by the line department in the collection of data. I hope that beyond the collaboration that you have for organizing this event, the Department of Statistics and the line departments or the state departments should have a very strong collaboration so that the students who are pursuing their masters or have pursued or have graduated from our university or their expertise or their training is utilized for the collection of data.
Dean Academic Affairs Professor Musaddiq Amin Sahaf said that if data is not generated with the right kind of methodology, one cannot create a knowledge-based society.
Actually, any country that wants to grow has to have a strong system of statistics capable of collecting, analyzing and interpreting the data. And at the same time, Government of India has established a knowledge commission, so is true of the state, but failing that how they conceive this concept without having a full-fledged system of statistics in the country. I mean, the question is, if data is not being properly generated with the right kind of methodology, where we are able to create the knowledge and use the knowledge, which is the mandate of the knowledge society. And knowledge society strongly believes that knowledge is a powerful weapon to transform the society. But they cannot do it because the entire knowledge will not be functional due to the fact that its planning premises, the basic premises, have not been right.
Suggesting that the subject of statistics should be taught in all departments, Vice-Chancellor Professor Khurshid Iqbal Andrabi said that statistics is the backbone of decision-making if the quality of data is authentic.
The university cohesively breaks these boundaries at least. I think the stage has been set. We have done a couple of things which were innocuous, that you could recruit any individual from any branch of biology for PhD position at least, not at the level of faculty as of today, because you cannot. UGC has certain riders on it. But for PhD, a person from biotechnology can do PhD in botany, a person from biotechnology can do his PhD in zoology, and vice versa. So that much of flexibility we have brought in this system, in our system, not in any other university of the country as of today. But then it has to be taken forward, not for me, not because I have my child to be recruited in a particular department, but this is imperative. This is, you cannot progress, the university cannot become a university unless this across the board eligibility becomes a norm, becomes I mean, more than a norm actually, that every department, in my opinion, should have, Department of Biotechnology should have a statistician, it should have a physicist, it should have a chemist, it should have a biochemist, it should have a botanist, it should have a zoologist, to make it a vibrant department of biology. Otherwise, it remains restricted to certain areas where the faculty members have specialization in. It will never do justice to biology per se.
The Office of the Dean College Development Council, in association with the Kashmir Private Unaided B.Ed Colleges Association, organized a book release function of former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Kashmir, Professor Jalis Ahmed Khan Tareen. The book, Rise of a Barefoot Boy, was released in the Gandhi Bhavan Auditorium. Professor C.L. Vishan introduced the guest to the audience.
Professor Tareen lost his father at the age of 7, you can understand, with 5 of his siblings. They were raised by their mother with the help of her relations. But the zeal in him and the enthusiasm in him and the ambition in him and the drive in him led him to march into this progressive world in spite of all the difficulties. At the age of 20, he did his MSc. At the age of 21, he started his career as a research assistant. And you will be very surprised to know that he did his PhD from Mysore University and his DSc from a university in Germany. I think from France, I'm sorry.
Dean College Development Council Professor Nilofer Khan, while remembering some initiatives initiated by the former Vice-Chancellor during his stay at the Kashmir University, said that those are now bearing fruits.
Of course, you also created our alumni schools, which are also doing well now during the leadership of Professor Andrabi. These schools were very well taken up by our university and even the staff. And of course, our Dean Academic Affairs used to monitor these schools for a long time. So already the team that you created, which you thought would work for this mission is already working for it. About the B.Ed colleges, I must say that some of the colleges are doing very well, but they had a very hard time after we shifted to 2 years B.Ed courses. Our non-local, students, there was dropout in that. But inshallah, I think we are picking up from this year, and we are monitoring the quality and academics of these institutes, which again is the priority of our university.
Dean Academic Affairs Professor Musaddiq Amin Saha, while recalling the services of Professor Tareen, said that he has categorized Vice Chancellors in 2 categories for the way they work.
I have categorized Vice Chancellor in 2 terms: the transactional Vice Chancellors, the transformational Vice Chancellors. Transformational Vice Chancellors are those Vice Chancellors who actually believe in change and translate that change into performance of the organization. Most of the people prefer to go with the system. They don't want to change the system. The way system is going, they allow the system to move, because that way there is hardly any resistance from the stakeholders. Most of the Vice Chancellors avoid changes, but he is among one of the few Vice Chancellors who strongly believes in change and makes the organization a learning organization that moves along with the changes in the environment. Otherwise, there is every possibility that the university may die over the passage of time, because systems created at one time may not be functional all times. You have to strongly believe in the changes and bring necessary changes and modifications in the system. But unfortunately, as I said, few people believe strongly in stability, in the sense that they don't want to change. But Professor Tareen is one of the few Vice Chancellors who strongly believes in the change and becomes an agent for transformation of the institution.
Speaking on the occasion, the author of the book, Professor Jalis Ahmed Khan Tareen, said that coming to Kashmir was a gift from Allah, as he always wanted to work for the upliftment of his community.
At that point of time also, I felt it was a gift of Allah. And even now today, I am grateful to Allah that I chose to come here. My affinity were 2. Right from my younger age, I have been working for the community. I was working in the slums of Mysore, where poor children don't get schooling. When I found that Kashmiris, I knew they were going through a very difficult phase of life for no fault of theirs. And a majority of them needed somebody, at least whatever little way, could make a dent or a difference into their life. I decided that I should come here. The second thing was, I always believed, all through my life, that 2 things are important. One is education in one's life. The second is education to women.
He said that once in Kashmir, he was amazed to notice that around 50% of the students were women in the university.
I was really extremely happy at that point of time to see that nearly 50% of the university had women students. It made me feel very proud. Even the rest of India, it doesn't exist. A strange picture is painted by the perverted and some mischievous media in the national channels, who paint a dreaded picture, an orthodox picture, a backward picture of the people of Kashmir. I was always unhappy, and I used to write. I tweet. I boldly tweet. Don't do that. I found them more moderate. I found them more intellectually at a higher level. I found them more lovable and hospitable. And I found them, I can say again and again and again, the least communal in the country.
Vice Chancellor Professor Khurshid Iqbal Indrabi, while praising the former Vice Chancellor, said that he remembers Professor Tareen for beginning to change the mindset of the university.
I remember him for bringing in a real change in the university's mindset. For heaven's sake, it still continues. Many of us, many of the best of the teachers believe that university is a high school. What I appreciate Professor Tareen was, I still remember, he used to stay back home, photocopy all these grant proposal application forms from FIST, from SAP, and that is how this culture of FIST and SAP was introduced in the university. Number two, he would always call everybody around in a faculty meeting, and tell them that I want a research publication on this glazed paper. And this is what I vividly remember, and this is how it started getting into our system, that the university was not meant for teaching. University was actually meant for creating knowledge.
In his autobiography, Professor Tareen has attempted to inspire the new generations by making every stumbling block into an opportunity of success. The author has discussed extremism in the Indian society, communal likes and dislikes, which are also aggressively countered and balanced by a large population of the moderates. The author also writes on the lacunae in higher educational institutions, modernization of madrasas, and importance of education to Muslim women. The book inspires one to believe that everyone has an opportunity to succeed if one has the art of finding an honest way through, in spite of the diversities and prejudices of the society. That's all for today's episode. Log on to our website mmrckashmir.com, where you can check the latest episode of The Quest. You can also watch it on our YouTube channel, that is KU Television. Do send us your valuable suggestions at our email address, that is quest@mmrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. Courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not absence of fear.